Remember, it is not how this officer died, it is how this officer lived that made him a true hero.
That is Grand Forks Police Chief Mark Nelson. Thank you for joining us today for North Dakota Today. It's a sad day. I feel like a lot of people are waking up today still trying to process the news about the shootout in Grand Forks yesterday afternoon. Started as just kind of a routine call for deputies who were, out on their, normal shift. And then, out of nowhere, according to police officers, the suspect went ahead and shot at them. They were serving eviction papers, 2627 South 17th Street. And as we just heard from the police chief, one of their own lost. We know a Grand Forks County deputy still in the hospital. We do know information on the suspected shooter, 41-year-old Solomon Pendleton. We do believe he is still in the hospital as well. But of course, just so many questions today. And as I listened to the Grand Forks police chief, doesn't it remind you, it doesn't seem that long ago that we were hearing our Fargo police chief, David Todd, talking about the loss of Jason Mosier. And at that time, I thought, this would never happen. It just kind of sends shockwaves through the entire community.
Anytime you lose a law enforcement officer, I think it just shocks the entire community. And you see it on national news this morning about what's happening. And it's just, it's always, you got to put yourself back in those shoes. And like you said, kind of an everyday eviction notice, we're going to show up at the house. And now the situation where you just never know as a law enforcement officer what you're walking into. And they're just going out there to protect and serve. And they're walking into a situation that turns deadly very quickly.
Yeah, I feel like we're kind of stuck in the middle of some strange news events, as well as, what we're going through here, losing one of our own police officers, and then knowing the headlines out of the Twin Cities, where officers are kind of the target right now. A different turn of events there and a completely different story. I really think about of course, the family. We're hoping to get the update on the name and find out a little bit more information, because we do know he was not just a police officer. He was a man, likely a family, someone's son. So we're hoping we'll find out more information. And we know the law enforcement community already rallying around their own. The Valley Today's Abby Furchner has been up in Grand Forks all morning following this story and joins us right now from the police department with an update. Good morning, Abby.
Yeah, good morning. I just saw a woman not long ago, just minutes ago, come and lay flowers here outside of the Grand Forks Police Department. A memorial is starting to grow here as we remember the fallen officer. And the community is really coming behind everyone right now, but I just also spoke with officials this morning, and they are planning on meeting to discuss the incidents that happened yesterday afternoon. So we are hoping to have new information, like you said, Lisa, about the names of the victims involved, especially the wounded officer as well. But it really is a community effort right now. I know last night, they lit up the police station here in blue lights to remember him. And so they are definitely rallying around right now, like I just said, in honor of the fallen hero. Officials posted this photo and said they are so proud to be a part of this great community, and that it's a privilege and honor to serve. And I also want to talk about what they did last night to take a look at this video. Hundreds of police, fire, and other official vehicles drove slowly through a Grand Forks neighborhood to mourn the life of an officer who was fatally shot in the line of duty, like I just said. And this video was posted by the University of North Dakota Police Department, asking people to, quote, continue to offer your thoughts and prayers for both the Grand Forks police officer, families involved, and the deputy who was wounded during today's incident. So a lot happening here in Grand Forks, but like I said, we hope to have new information here soon. So you're going to want to make sure that you're sticking with us throughout today, as we will continue to give you the news on what's going on here. But like I said, a memorial starting to grow here outside of the Grand Forks Police Department.
And I know this morning when you were reporting live for the Valley Today, right now you're outside the police station. Earlier you were outside All True Hospital. Can you talk a little bit about, what it felt like? I believe you said the words like it was a heavy presence. Can you just talk a little bit about what it feels like right now in the city of Grand Forks?
Yeah, I know yesterday it was quite busy over at the hospital with police officers coming in and out, but this morning it was almost that quiet sadness. You could definitely feel that there, as one of the officers is still there, but thankfully he is in stable condition. But after we found out that that officer did pass away, you could tell that it is affecting the community and the department today. Just being out here in front of the department too, it's very quiet. And so you can tell that everyone is mourning, and that a lot of people are shocked that this is happening here in their community. Like you said earlier, Lisa, I know that Fargo was too with Jason Mosier when he passed away. So it's kind of that same feeling here this morning as well.
And I think that you're going to see that memorial grow. It was, not surprising that the flowers showed up there. I know there was a vigil last night in Grand Forks, and a lot of people are just kind of looking for, there's the prayers, we need that, but, some way to show their support for the law enforcement community. Such a tough situation. Of course, Abby, I know you're going to be staying there and giving us an update. We're hoping to learn more information, like you mentioned, and we do plan on getting a live update once the news conference time has been set. We'll go to that as soon as possible. And, let's put up that video one more time that you were talking about. It's really incredible to see the whole law enforcement family kind of rally around their own. You could see the ambulance, there were fire trucks, police officers, quite the solemn procession. So it's the law enforcement family, the husbands and wives of law enforcement today as well, who are thinking, it could have been my loved one. Because every day they, put on their uniform and do their job. And you just hope every night that your loved one's going to come home safe.
And you just think, that person may be going to that eviction notice situation, may have talked to his or her spouse, just before that, like, hey, I'm going on this routine call. And that's the problem, or the challenge when you're a law enforcement family. You never know. So it's tough.
Abby, thank you so much for that live report. We'll check in with you again if there are any updates within this hour. Thank you. And talking about the law enforcement community, we were lucky to get our Cass County Sheriff to visit with us a little bit. We're going to be talking with Jesse Johnner here next on North Dakota Today to give us a little insight as to, like we just said, being in the law enforcement family, how it feels.
I want to remind people, too, there was 4 people that were involved. You had 2 law enforcement officers and 2 civilians, and one of those civilians, a woman, I'm assuming in some way had a relationship with this other man, is deceased as well. And it's a very just saddening situation. Thank God that the one officer survived. I don't know if this other person is going to survive or not, but it's going to be interesting to see what this surviving officer has to say about what happened in that situation.
We are hearing that the Grand Forks County deputy is in stable condition, but of course we don't know his name or really the update on his condition at this point. And you're right, one woman was killed, and we'll probably learn more information about the history, possible criminal history behind the shooting suspect as well, and what injuries specifically he suffered as well. We'll be right back here on North Dakota Today.